Right now, there are 22-year-olds sitting in a university lecture hall taking notes on a degree that will be obsolete before they even graduate. They don't know it yet, their parents are probably proud, their guidance counselor approved, but in 4 years they will graduate with $20,000 to $100,000 in debt and discover the jobs that they trained for don't exist anymore. Student unemployment in Canada has just hit 20%, and the World Economic Forum estimates that 120 million jobs will disappear by 2030. All while some of the most popular university degrees are training you for exactly those disappearing jobs. I know this list will upset some people, and I invite you to share your thoughts in the comment section below. But I also hope that this video will help you avoid the mistake of spending tens of thousands of dollars and your precious time on a degree that no longer matters. And we will start with general marketing. Here's what's interesting about marketing. It's not disappearing, it's splitting in two. The WEF Future of Jobs report shows traditional marketing and sales professionals declining by 9% through 2030. But, at the same time, digital marketing and strategy specialists is in the top 30 fastest growing roles globally. So what's the difference? The jobs disappearing are the generalist roles, the marketing coordinators, the brand assistants, the people managing basic campaigns. Why? Because AI can now write copy, design ads, segment audiences, run A/B testing, and optimize campaign better than most junior marketers. Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and automated marketing platforms are replacing entire teams doing this work. Entry-level marketing coordinator roles pay around $42,000 to $55,000 a year. That's barely above minimum wage in Toronto or Vancouver when you factor in cost of living. I know someone who graduated with a marketing degree just 2 years ago and spent $85,000 on her education and landed her first job at just $43,000. Most of her day was scheduling Instagram posts and updating spreadsheets. 6 months in, her company hired a 19-year-old intern with no degree who apparently was really good at TikTok. That intern got brought on full-time at the same salary. They don't teach you TikTok in your marketing degree. It's a skill you have to learn on your own, like many others, and these are the jobs that will stay. Data analytics, growth hacking, product marketing, marketing automation specialists. These are much meatier and more tangible and more valuable specializations to chase. But the problem is that most general marketing degrees don't teach you this at the depth you need to be competitive. These roles also require hybrid skill sets that are hard to pick up in a weekend. You are much better off picking a niche area like marketing automation or conversion rate optimization and teaching yourself through specialized courses or certifications in those specific tools. And that's the thing, if you love marketing, it's a fascinating and endlessly creative field. But in order to be competitive, you also need to do hybrid tasks between creative and technical, strategic and automation focused. And that's something AI cannot easily replicate. Next, we have hotel and hospitality management. The hospitality industry got hit hard during the pandemic, and it still has not bounced back fully. According to Statistics Canada, accommodation sector employment in Ontario fell by 20% between July 2019 and July 2024. Government of Canada data shows similar trends across the country. Employment dropped from 459,000 jobs to 442,000 jobs in that same period. But the jobs that are coming back look completely different. Hotels are now operating with roughly 10% fewer staff than pre-pandemic levels, and they are filling the gap with technology. Self-check-in kiosks, app-based room service, AI concierges that handle 60% of front desk calls, digital check-in systems processing 60% of arrivals. So let's have a look at the economics. Most hospitality management programs in Canada are 2-year diplomas that cost more than $26,000 in tuition alone. Add in living expenses, and you're looking at $60,000 total investment for a diploma that leads to jobs paying only $42,000 starting salary in expensive tourist cities, where rent alone costs $2,000 a month. Most entry-level hospitality management positions ask for a diploma and 1 to 2 years of experience. But the thing is, the industry has always valued hands-on experience over education. If hospitality is your passion, you can start as a front desk agent and learn the operations and move into management within 3 to 5 years without spending tens of thousands on a diploma. And if you do want to move into senior roles like revenue management, multi-property operations, then you will need data analytics and financial modeling expertise that most hospitality diplomas don't even teach at the necessary depth. In this scenario, you're better off doing a Bachelor of Commerce degree, which will teach you foundations of running a business. Next, we have psychology. Psychology is one of the most popular undergraduate degrees in Canada, and that's exactly where the problem starts. Thousands of students enroll thinking they will become psychologists. But the Canadian Psychological Association makes it crystal clear. To call yourself a psychologist, you must complete at least a master's degree, and normally a PhD in psychology. A bachelor's degree in psychology doesn't make you a psychologist. It simply makes you someone with a bachelor's degree in psychology. And those are very different things. And that's where the disconnect happens. Government of Canada projections show that licensed psychologists face a strong risk of shortage through 2033, with 14,000 job openings expected. But a bachelor's degree will only get you a 1/5 of the way at best. So if you're not sure you will survive through a 6 to 8 year journey towards a PhD in psychology, reassess your choices. According to job market data and salary services, psychology bachelor's degree holders typically enter roles paying around $50,000 for positions like HR assistant, research assistant, caseworker, or administrative coordinator. But most of these jobs don't actually require a psychology degree. The Canadian Psychological Association admits this openly, listing career options for bachelor's holders as personnel, labor relations, social services, technical writing, corrections, probation, parole, marketing, and public relations. Most entry-level positions for bachelor's holders require a bachelor's degree in psychology or related field, meaning your specific degree doesn't give you an advantage over sociology or social work or even general arts graduates competing for the same roles. Now, there is a growing demand for psychology backgrounds in tech, like user research, UX design, product psychology, where understanding human behavior really matters. But even here, you will need additional training in design thinking, research methodologies, prototyping tools, and data analysis to be competitive. Psychology gives you the foundation, but tech companies hire people who can actually do the work, not just understand the theory. You are competing against people with UX bootcamp certifications, portfolios of real projects, and practical tool expertise. If psychology genuinely interests you and you are committed to graduate school in fields like clinical psychology, counseling, neuropsychology, then yes, this path makes sense and this profession can be ultimately fulfilling. Licensed psychologists in Canada earn over $80,000 a year and face strong demand, especially if you open up a private practice. Psychologists these days charge up to $300 for an hour of their time. Next, let's talk about sociology and anthropology. These degrees suffer from the same fundamental disconnect as psychology. The career everyone typically thinks of requires graduate school, but most students stop at the bachelor's level and discover their degree qualifies them for almost nothing specific. Let's start with the numbers. In Canada, wage data shows around $35 to $46 per hour for social science professionals, but this data applies to people with graduate degrees working in actual research, policy analysis, or academic positions. For bachelor's degree holders, the reality is completely different. According to career outcome data, sociology graduates with just a bachelor's degree typically enter roles paying around $45,000 to $58,000 a year, like case management program coordination, research assistant positions, HR roles, or social services work. So you see, similarly to psychology, none of these jobs actually require a sociology degree. They require a bachelor's degree in sociology or related field, meaning that you will be competing with psychology graduates that we've just talked about earlier, as well as social work graduates, general arts graduates, and often people with a college certificate or no degree at all for the same positions. Anthropology faces an even worse situation. While some salary data shows anthropologists earning more than $80,000, this applies to licensed professionals only, with graduate degrees working in archaeology, cultural resource management, or academic research. If we look at the pay scale data, which is more realistic, it shows $50,000 for general anthropologist salaries. But there's one thing I want to stress. In a world automating everything, we need people who do understand humans more than ever. Silicon Valley is full of brilliant engineers building products that nobody wants, or algorithms that reinforce bias, and AI deployed without understanding social impact. That's a sociology problem, not a technical one. At the same time, having this perspective is valuable, but without practical skills attached to this perspective, there is not much you can do. If you care about how humans interact with technology, then study sociology or anthropology alongside something marketable, like double major with computer science, or learn UX research methods, or get certified in data analytics or human-centered design. Companies that need sociological thinking aren't hiring sociologists. They are hiring UX researchers, product managers, and policy specialists who happen to think sociologically. These fields matter more than ever, but they matter as a lens, not a credential. So pair them with the skills that market pays for. Otherwise, you're just paying $80K to be right about problems which you're not even equipped to solve. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York analyzed employment outcomes for every college major in 2024. A 62.3% underemployment rate, meaning nearly 2/3 of graduates work in jobs that don't require this degree at all. And the worst part is that 43.8% of art history majors go on to get graduate degrees, and they are still stuck in minimum wage jobs. What about Canada? Art history positions pay around $36,000 to $48,000 according to salary data. That's about $20 per hour for a field that, again, typically requires a master's degree at minimum. Museum curator positions, which sound prestigious, offer median salaries about $46,000. To get there, you need a master's degree and years of unpaid or low-paid internships and connections in an incredibly insular field. The reality is that there are maybe just a few thousand actual art history jobs in North America, like museum positions, galleries, or auction houses, or academic roles. If you genuinely love art history, then study it as a minor while majoring in something employable, or pursue it at the graduate level after establishing a career that pays your bills. The passion is valid, but the economics are catastrophic. Next, let's talk about English and literature. Every English major has heard the same joke. What do you say to an English graduate? I'll have a grande latte, please. But the real punchline is even worse. They are now competing with ChatGPT for their dream jobs. The median salary for English graduates in Canada is about $44,000, and that's only if you find work in your field. The bigger problem is that the jobs English majors traditionally aimed for, like content writing, copywriting, editing, journalism, all they are getting gutted by AI. When a company can generate 50 blog posts a week for $20 a month in ChatGPT, you no longer need a team of 10 writers. You just need one who can oversee a group of specialized AI agent writers. The skill employers want isn't writing anymore. It's knowing how to direct AI, edit AI output, and integrate AI into content strategies. And this is also the #1 skill that we've talked about in this video. So if you want to know what are the real skills for the future of the decade, make sure to check it out. If you love writing and are dead set on this degree, there is a light in the tunnel. But you need to specialize in something that AI struggles with, like investigative journalism, technical writing for complex industries, or creative direction where you're managing AI as a tool rather than competing with it. Combine English with technical skills like UX writing, like writing for apps and websites, or SEO strategy. If you are considering English, then ask yourself if you want to be a writer or if you want a job. If you want to write novels or poetry, you don't need a degree, just write. If you want a career, then combine English with something else as a double major or add technical skills through certifications. Don't just spend $40K learning to do what AI does for $20 a month. Next, we have fashion design and fashion merchandising. Fast fashion killed this next degree even before AI got involved. Fashion degrees graduates in Canada earn a median of $38,000 annually, one of the lowest salaries for any degree. But the salary isn't even the main problem. The entire industry structure that these programs prepare you for is collapsing. Traditional fashion houses that hire a team of designers are now using AI tools like Midjourney or DALL-E to generate hundreds of designs in hours, and then manufacturing the winners in weeks instead of seasons. Shein and Temu have completely rewired how fashion works. They use AI to scan social media trends, generate designs instantly, and have products manufactured and shipped within 10 days. No design team, no seasonal collections, no fashion shows, just algorithms and speed. If you're already in this program, then specialize hard. Focus on sustainable fashion, which is a growing market, or costume design for film and gaming, or technical textiles for outdoor and athletic wear. Or pivot entirely and combine your design skills with 3D modeling, pattern making, software, or e-commerce strategy. The fashion graduates who are getting hired are the ones who can design and execute digitally. If you're considering fashion design, well, then you have to understand you're entering one of the most brutal and lowest paying industries that exists. If you want to design clothes, you can learn online for free and start selling on Etsy or building a brand on Instagram. You don't need $50,000 in debt to prove that you can design. The fashion designers making money in 2030 will be the ones who build audiences and sold directly, not the ones with degrees and working for brands that are using AI to replace them. Continuing on the topic of design, graphic design used to be a great creative career with decent pay. Now it's a race to see who can prompt Mid-Journey faster. Canadian graphic design graduates earn a median of $42,000, but that number hides the real story. 60% are freelancing because full-time positions have evaporated. Between 2020 and 2024, in-house design team positions dropped by 34% because they're replaced by agencies, freelancers, and increasingly AI tools. Fiverr, Upwork, and 99 Designs already decimated pricing. Logos that used to cost $2,000 in 2010 now would go for $200, but AI just put the trace to the bottom on steroids. Why hire a junior designer at $45,000 a year when a $30 a month AI subscription can generate unlimited options? These days, for many design teams, it's mandatory to use AI design tools, and the same even goes for developers. The jobs that remain in these fields are splitting into two extremes. Either you're a senior creative director managing AI tools and make strategic decisions, which usually requires 10+ years of experience that you won't get because those entry-level jobs are gone. Or you're competing with AI and thousands of designers globally willing to work for just $15 an hour. There is no middle anymore. The only growing segments are motion graphics, 3D design for gaming and VR, and UX/UI design, which all require technical skills which most graphic design programs barely touch. If you are already in this program, then I suggest to pivot immediately to UX/UI design and learn motion graphics and video editing. Or maybe you can specialize in 3D design for games and virtual environments. Add coding skills to the mix. Designers who can prototype in Figma and code in React or CSS are the ones who are getting hired. Or combine design skills with marketing strategy, so you're making business decisions, not just making things look pretty. Look, I know this video is harsh for some people, and you probably disagree with some of my takes, at which point I want to hear from you down in the comments below. The modern reality is that a degree isn't a guarantee anymore. It's an investment, and like any investment, you need to maximize your return and reduce the risk the investment won't pay off. But here's the good news. Every single degree on this list has a path forward if you're willing to specialize and add technical skills or pivot entirely. If you're choosing a degree right now, then do your homework. Look at median salaries, employment rates 5 years out, and see whether the field is growing or shrinking. Talk to people who actually work in the industry, not just professors who haven't left campus in 20 years. And be honest with yourself about whether you need a degree at all, because sometimes the best education is just doing the thing. Thank you for watching, make smart choices, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.